Hey guys, this is Karen with Crafting It Up. Today I am going to show you how I made my home blocks using 4 Dollar Tree unfinished wood blocks, some chalk paint, and some stencils from Chalk Couture. I used the Farmhouse stencil, and I am a designer for Chalk Couture, so if you have any questions or if you want to check out the website, I'll leave my link below. For this project, I just used some white chalk paste, gray chalk paste, and brown truffle chalk paste. The white and gray were both from Joann Fabric. The brown was from Walmart. I used the 4 boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I didn't use the heart ones. It comes with a 2-pack. I only used the plain wood ones. To start out, I went ahead and opened all the boxes and painted them all with white chalk paint. I did that ahead of time just to speed up the process, but you're going to cover the whole block with white chalk paint. Because you didn't stain them and they're unfinished, you want to make sure you get that covered. And then I moved on to my brown truffle paint, and I'm using a hard brush, and I'm just lightly streaking each part of the block. So I sometimes use the sides, and it's supposed to look rough looking, so you want your brush a little hard and rough. That's what the rough brush is. It's a hard brush because you don't want to actually paint it on there smooth. You want it to look like wood grain. So I'm just lightly putting some brown on there. I make sure I get all the corners, the sides, because that's where it would look distressed if they were really old blocks. They would be more nicked up on the corners and the sides. So make sure you get more in on that, and then you get some in the flat surfaces. So I went ahead and did all 4 blocks with the brown, and you can see as I go. Again, I'm just making sure I get all the corners, the sides. One side I didn't do with so much brown because that's the one I was going to stencil. So after I'm done stenciling is when I will add, excuse me, I was yawning. After I'm done, that's when I would add more. But I didn't want to add that and then the stencil, so I wanted to add the stencil first. So for one side of the block, whatever you're going to use for your home stencil, don't do too much brown in there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my gray chalk paint and do the same exact thing as I did with the brown. I have a lot of dark wood, grays, a lot of greenery in my house. It's like farmhouse style, so that's the look I'm going for with these blocks. I just take the same colors that I have in my house. I usually do a dark stain, either like a Jacobean or chestnut, something darker, and so that's the style I'm going for right now. That's why I use the brown truffle paint. It's a little darker because I wanted the wood to look dark. And then as far as the gray, I got the gray chalk paint at Joann's, and that will match my house as well. So I went ahead with some gray. And then if you get too much on there, you can always use your white chalk paint and cover some of that up. And I do that a lot. So if there's some spots, like right now I'm doing it, if there's some spots that I don't like that are too dark, I'll just take my white or gray paintbrush and just paint over it a little bit. It will just tone down the darkness. So now I just decided on where I'm going to place my stencils. So right now I'm just adding some more brown on the top and the sides that I'm not using. So for Chalk Couture, all the transfers come together, and you just have to cut them where you want to. They have like lines where you can cut them. So I'm starting out with the wreath first for the O. I decided to use that. And I'm using a color called, let me see. It's the sage green. I thought that went well with the greenery in my house, so I wanted to bring some color into it. So I'm using that for the wreath. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to start doing the letters, and just make sure you're matching up the letters with the wreath, just so it's they're all in the same line, because you don't want to start the letters up higher and then the wreath down low, and then it won't look right. So just try to match it up to see where you want your H to start. Actually, I think I did them out of order just because the way the farmhouse, the way the stencils were set up, the M and the H were together, so I believe I went with the E first. And I just matched the E with the wreath, that way it matches up perfect. So with this, it's hard to see because I had to use just the E, and so the S, and it's covering it, but you just place the transfer on top of this block, and you're using your Chalk Couture paste and a little squeegee, and you just put it on. It's very simple to use, and the transfers you can use over up to 20 times. So I use mine a lot for different projects. Like you see, this says Farmhouse, but I'm using it to spell out home. So you can do a lot of different things with it. So I definitely recommend checking them out. They have a lot of farmhouse transfers, which why I joined. I thought how it looks so easy, and I wanted something other than using my Cricut, because the Cricut sometimes is a pain trying to get the stencils to stick and stuff. So these are perfect. They're already done for you. You put a little paste on with your squeegee, pull it off, and it's there. And after you're done, you just go wash your stencil, and you can use it again up to 20 times. So and they're very reasonable. So I went ahead and did the M, and now I'm doing the H, matching them up. You put the transfer down, you get your squeegee, put a little black on there, you get your squeegee, make sure you fill it all in, and then get any excess off, and then you just lift it up, and it's done. So it's very simple to use, and the paste is actually washable for certain surfaces, so like chalkboards and any like metal and stuff, you can get the paste right off if you mess up. So once I'm done that, I just close up all my paint, put them aside, and I am very big, I don't know if you saw any of my other projects, I don't like a real bold black, so I like to tone it down a little. So what I usually do is I wait till it's all dry, and I go ahead and take my white chalk paint or gray chalk paint. They're both, the gray I'm using is very similar, it's a lighter gray, and I just brush a little bit over the black, and then I just use like a cloth and just rub it in, so then it gives it that like old, like muted look. I don't like real bold. I want it to almost look gray and distressed and old. So that's what you're going to see me do now. The best thing I find that works the best is having a dry wipe. I didn't have a dry wipe, so I'm just using a lint-free paper towel. You can get them at your hardware stores, and I'm just dabbing a little bit of white chalk paint on the E on each letter, and then I kind of brush it off. You don't want to brush it too hard because that chalk paste will come off. So just do it lightly. You can even use like a Q-tip if you want to use something where you can just dab over the E and then brush it off lightly. You can do that. Again, I use my lint-free cloth to do mine, but if you have another technique that you want to use, feel free. And I do a little bit at a time. As you see, I went back to E and did a little more. I want them all to match, and I like to see what I like. So I do a little bit and see what I think, and then I'll do the other letters, and then if I want more, I'll go back and do a little more. Because you can always add, it's hard to take away. So again, I just do a little bit at a time. I even did a little bit on the wreath as well, because I wanted to mute that down because it was a little darker green. So once I'm done that, I am going to take my hot glue gun and just start gluing the boxes together. I was thinking about doing them all horizontal, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do them like in a box of 4. I thought that looked cute, and it's easier to put places rather than spread it all out. I did have some green, like sage color ribbon, so I went ahead and put that around the box first, and you can see me doing that now. And then once I did that, I was trying to decide on a bow and what I wanted to do with that. I did make a couple bows, and I kept playing with it for like an hour. I could not figure out what I wanted on the top. So I'll sit there until I get it right. So you'll see as I go, I'll be playing with different bows and what colors I want. I made a few different bows. I did the X technique for a bow. I don't know if you know what that is. You're basically just cutting ribbon and putting them in, overlapping them one by one in an X. And then you just grab them together at the center and tie a little twine around it and make a bow that way. So I did do that. You could see me doing them now. So you just keep overlapping them in an X shape. And I use the colors that I put in the box. So I used some gray, the sage green, brown. I did use a little buffalo plaid. I love buffalo plaid, so I always use that. I think it gives it a cute little touch. So again, I'm just playing with the colors right now to see what I like. I do that a lot because I don't want to glue anything down if I don't like it. To be honest, I did make a few bows and tried both of them, and I ended up not going with a bow at all. So you're getting to see how I make some of my bows, but I did not use these, and you will see as the video goes on. You just pinch it in the center, bring them together, and then like with the twine, I'm tying it in a knot right now. And then I'll add like a little ribbon around the middle of it to give it that bow look. Sometimes I put a little button in the center, or I'll just leave it plain. Right now I'm just trimming it down and cutting to make it smaller because I felt like it was a little too big. I did use some raffia in this bow, and I just bunched that all together, so I am cutting like the little loops and stuff, and just cutting the ribbon down. Same thing with the bows. I just keep playing with it until I get something that I like. I'm not great at bows. I watch a few YouTube tutorials and kind of do the same bows over and over again because it's just something that I'm not great at. So like I said, I didn't end up using these bows, but I'm putting it in the video so you can see, because a lot of people ask me how I do them. So I just wanted you to see how I do this type of bow with the crisscross technique. So that's basically it, how I make those bows. You know, I just, like I said, I just overlap them in a crisscross way, in an X, and just keep overlapping them, and then I pinch the middle and tie twine around it, and that's it. If I put some raffia in there, I will cut that. I'll put a little ribbon around the middle after I'm done. Sometimes I'll put a button in the middle. They're very simple bows, and they're cute on some projects. Just this one, I did not like it. I mean, you might like it. If you want to leave it, you totally can. I decided to go with some greenery that was around my house. I just cut out some of my stems that I use throughout my house and went with that, and you'll see that in the next picture. Right now I'm playing with the greenery to show you what type of greenery I used. It was downstairs, so I don't think it's in the video, the whole of me putting it on there, but I wanted to go ahead and show you a picture of it, which you can see right here, and that's my final project, how I did it. I used a little bit of greenery on each side, and then I put a raffia bow, like a small one, and then a little buffalo plaid bow on top, and I thought that looked perfect. I didn't really care for the big bows that I made, so I went with something more simple, and I think it turned out great. So again, it was pretty simple to do these. You can still find these boxes at Dollar Tree. I was just there the other day. They still have them, and you could do so much with these boxes. So I definitely recommend going to pick up a few. I also recommend, if you're going to use a Cricut and you like using vinyl, you can totally use vinyl. If you have other stencils laying around, you can use them. I just love chalk couture stencils. I feel like they're so easy to work with, and you can use them over and over. They're washable, so it's just something that I took a liking to. If you want to hear more about it, again, I'll post my link below, and you can ask me any questions. But as far as the blocks go, that was it. It was so simple. You paint them white, you distress them a little, stencil them up, wrap a ribbon around, and put a little bow. And you have a little farmhouse blocks that make a perfect display in your house. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Again, I do so many different farmhouse projects, DIYs, that I can't wait to share with you. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I will continue to post them as I do them. Any feedback, please leave in the comments below. I just ordered a new stand for my phone. I know it's sometimes hard to see because I just started out, so I'm just really leaning my phone up against something. But for future projects and videos, you will see that the video will get better and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more ideas with you guys. See ya, have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.